Hello, welcome back to Jane's Fleet Command. So today we'll do the mission we made. There it is. It's the only one that's kind of properly named. But yeah, I didn't do the briefing, I guess, so that's fine. All right, so we are. Oh, they have radars on already? Okay. So here, I mean, we'll just have these guys fire off right away. I didn't put civilian air traffic here. All right, so this should get rid of them. And then we have our task force here. So I should honestly I should have rekeyed this and and put them closer and just deleted this portion of the tutorial, but hey, we get to see a bunch of units die. Ooh, one survived.
It's toast. Engage track 8696. Will do. Weapon away. Track 8696. Roger.
All right, so we'll
do. Splash track 8696.
There we go. So then we got these guys coming in. Should have thrown a submarine up there too, but we can see. Oh, you need to go
Affirmative. Roger.
higher. We have the Eagles doing their little thing.
Can do. Roger. Out.
But oh, I remember now. Yeah, we had different civilian stuff set up, so this is one that got randomly selected to exist today. I know we had a couple different groups. Let's have you come to comms death and just stay up, so that way you don't run around. Okay, so we got a hostile down pilot here. So this is a good opportunity. So when I bring up the flight menu, there's two ways to do that. You can either right click on the unit and then left click on flight deck, or you can just hit F once the unit is selected. And oh, we got two. But and we already have the Seahawks here ready to launch, but basically alert 30 kind of doesn't do anything, at least in my experience. But basically at alert 30, aircraft will launch in 30 seconds if they were real life 30 minutes. Alert 15 seconds, or 15 minutes in real life. Alert 5 is within 5 minutes, or 5 minutes in real life, 5 seconds in game. And that's where you'll see the point at which you'll see them be pre-positioned on the flight deck. So if we go here, these 5 aircraft are all at alert 5 because they're all ready to launch. And then launch obviously launches the aircraft. So we'll launch a single Seahawk.
Launch aircraft out.
And
Will do. Out. Affirmative.
we'll send them over on a cruise. So then this should be, I believe, our the battle cruiser we put in there. We'll let the Tomcats kind of verify that.
Will do. Roger. Can do. Out.
And so what we'll be end up doing here, and the way we want to conduct our attack, is we have these jamming, if I can find one. We have some prowlers in our strike force, and basically the prowler is a specialized electronic, hey, there we go, launch point reach for launching our strikes. So that means if we go, sorry for the disruption, but if we go here, we can see our transit goal has been completed. So now we can attack the Kirov here. And honestly, I could put in a goal for destroying the strike force. That would have made more sense. Maybe I'll do that and we'll do another run through and test it, and just also make sure that like our civilian tankers are like properly whatchamacallit, properly randomizing. So we can see we actually still have a decent amount of fuel too. I'm surprised. We gotta watch cause
Will do. Out.
so they don't collide. So
Can do. Out.
I'll just kind of
Roger. Out. Roger.
give them some random.
Can do. Out. Can do. Roger. Out.
We'll give them some random directions. We'll send one Tomcat ahead to ID
9. Out.
the Kirov here, because they will undoubtedly launch a missile to counter.
Emergency emitter tracked 8, 6, 8,
Yep.
9. Identified as
So
hostile.
now we'll bring them back, and the only reason I'm even keeping them here is to engage the any helicopters they decide to launch, which they might once they see they're under attack. I'm actually surprised at how passive the Ushkov has been, but what we can do, and the way I set up my attacks here, or how I generally set up my attacks, is I lead with these electronic warfare aircraft. So in this case, I'm using the Prowler, since this is kind of its real role in life, with suppression of enemy air defenses, as well as the destruction of enemy air defenses. So to this end, they carry jamming pods and harm missiles, and harm missiles are specifically designed to attack the radars that are serving air defense roles and stuff. So they home in on the radar signal. So what I'll do here, and there are other aircraft in game you can use for this extent. You'll kind of get a, like the ES-3 Viking they let you use for this, even though it was an unarmed surveillance aircraft, not an electronic warfare aircraft. I don't know if they have the EF-111 Raven in game, but you could use that for jamming, but not attack, because that was another aircraft I believe that didn't carry weapons. They let you use the EP-3 Orion, even though that's, again, a signals intelligence aircraft, electronic intelligence aircraft, not a jammer, not something to take out SAM sites. The Russians have their own. A couple other countries have their own that aren't really modeled in this game, like the Tornado had a electronic warfare variant. But in any event, so we will first use. Well, first we're going to bring our task force here to altitude level 8. So I'm using Shift 7, Shift 8, and Shift 9 to control the altitude of my aircraft, or also the depth of my submarines. So 9 is Shift 9 is high altitude or deep depth. Shift 7 is low altitude or low depth. So what we will do, and actually another thing I want to do is just put a marker here, so we have a general idea. So what I've noticed in this game is harm missiles don't really work when launched at high altitude, so we're coming down to a lower altitude here, from which they'll actually be able to track. And our goal here is twofold. We want to overwhelm their defenses in a multitude of ways, and this will include both kinetic and electronic attacks. So we will start with
It's toast. Take track 8, 6, 8, 9. Will do.
a kinetic attack here, but by pressing C and then right-clicking on it, I can also have the Prowler jam. So now we can do kind of the same with our Hornets. They don't have the jamming capability, but we can launch harpoon missiles, which will be their primary anti-ship weapon, but also more harm missiles, which the harm missiles are supersonic, so they'll get there before the harpoons and hopefully deal some damage to their air defense capabilities.
6, 8, 9, out. Take track, 8, 6, 8, 9.
And then that will hopefully clear a path for the massive amount of harpoon missiles to
Will do, Roger, out.
work their way in.
Hit toast. Skilly track 8, 6, 8, 9. Roger. Weapon away.
There we go.
Track 8. Engage track 8, 6, 8, 9.
So I believe we have another, yep, we have another jamming aircraft there.
Roger, out. It's history.
So what the jamming does is this basically reduces the range of their radar and their weapon systems that rely on, you know, radar tracking. So
Kill track 8.
this means they will not see our attack
Weapon away.
until it is much closer, when they have sufficient power to burn through our jamming.
8.
And it means they will not be able to react to our attack as effectively. Oh, we have another one here.
It's toast. Kill track 8, 6, 8, 9. Can do, Roger, out. Affirmative.
So this is kind of overkill having 3 jammers. I think the way the game models itself, normally 1 is sufficient. All right, these are more Hornets that we can just have.
I've got
Yep, there's the helicopters.
6, 8, 9. Will do, out. Missile away. Track 8.
So you can see the helicopter's trying to gun down, but you can see we are breaking through.
Kill track 8, 7, 6, 2.
And it sounds like they were prepping another helicopter for launch that we managed to destroy. So we'll just have you roll in with a Phoenix.
I've got him. Engage track 8.
You can see they've launched Chaff. I found that Chaff... Oh, they launched another helicopter too.
Birds away. Track 8.
And these are still harm missiles hitting it. And for whatever reason, it's not very reactive. Oh, there we go. Now we got some. It's using its main guns to try to intercept, but it's not going so well, as you can see. And we've got enough jamming on them that, and maybe it is just the fact that I have like 3 or 4 jammers on him, that he's not able to use some of his self-defense weapons, like the SAN-6 Grumble. But you can see now, these, I believe, are all our harpoons coming in. 51%. These are still the harms coming in. Yeah. Oh. You guys
Roger, out.
break off. There's no need to get glitch killed here. You can see the helicopter in the distance trying to use their gun pods to take out the harm missiles. But at this point, I think we've got all their... Now, traditionally, harm missiles aren't going to do a lot of damage to ships, because they have fragmentation warheads, so they're more for destroying... you know, they're for destroying radars and doing that. Oh, that's an airfield, right? I think I did put in an enemy airfield, but that's okay. I don't think we'll get that far. But yeah, fragmentation warheads are basically meant to chew up radars and stuff. So yeah, it would take a lot to sink a ship. And granted, we did hit them with a lot, but
Track 8.
there we go.
7 is history.
But at this point, are they actually trying to... Are they trying to glitch kill our aircraft, or are they... Oh, they are trying to glitch kill our aircraft, it looks like. You can see, like, the splashes. But yeah, that's typically the approach I use, is I try to jam ships so they can't use their long-range weapons. You have Tomcats or something similar providing air superiority to keep your aircraft safe, and also to keep them from shooting down your missiles. Because I'm sure you see me use that tactic in game, where I'll use like Hornets decked out with the AMRAAMs as like a secondary layer of defense to shoot down missiles to try to save my own missile supply of my ships, as well as just, you know, well, they actually, well, but also just to
Kill track 8689.
you know, you know, the more platforms you send up that are engaging, that's less platforms, or that's more platforms you would need to jam for an effective suppression. So there's that part of it too. So let's see. So we can pretty much send everyone back to base at this point.
Roger, out. Return to home plate.
I'm not going to do the strike this mission, although it basically follows the same basic form. So there's a Viking, there's a Viking.
Can do, out. Will do, out. Will do, out.
All right, so we can send you all back.
Affirmative. Returning to home plate. Affirmative, out.
All right, so now what we can do for some anti-submarine warfare is if you turn on active sonar buoy and then issue a search pattern,
Affirmative, out.
what it'll do is like these aircraft or any sort of maritime patrol aircraft will automatically
Will do, out.
run a search pattern over
Roger,
the
out.
designated area,
Roger, out.
and they will drop sonar buoys, which are basically small little devices that transmit and receive sonar frequencies. So they will,
Affirmative, out.
some are passive, some are active, meaning some are basically just listening and seeing what's in the water, while some will send out active pulses and try to bounce those pulses off of anything that may be in the water in order to detect it. You know, kind of like radar bounces a radar pulse off an aircraft, and then when you see the return, then you see the aircraft or ship or whatever. So that's kind of what we're doing here with these. And helicopters can do that as well, but helicopters also have dipping sonar, so they can actually just stay in place in one area and basically drop a sonar into the water and listen around and see if there's anything there. And it's not simulated in game, but maritime patrol aircraft like the Orion also have a magnetic anomaly detector, which that is the did I give us any P3 Orions here? No, but that would be the Stinger you see on the at the rear of the aircraft under the tail,
Will do, out.
and that would that allows them, if there's a submarine close to the surface, that would detect the magnetic anomaly generated by the steel hull. And here we found the submarine relatively quickly,
Will do,
but that location is not likely to be accurate, so it's always good to have a couple,
affirmative, out.
have a couple aircraft verify that position, drop a few sonar buoys closer, and then we can have another aircraft
Toast.
come in and drop a torpedo on him.
Can do.
And the advantage of the aircraft is once they have a submarine tracked, they can drop that torpedo basically right on them. And we can see it's very shallow here. He does not have a lot of room to maneuver. Real submarine would not be in waters this shallow, because the submarine is like almost hitting the ground as it is. So you can see he's increased his speed in an attempt to evade the torpedo,
Will do.
but it is likely to be in vain. He's taking evasive maneuvers, and it's all in vain. We can see we have sunk the Typhoon, and you can even see the 6 forward torpedo tubes they got there, and it's capsized as much as it can. So to that end, we can see, here we go, battle damage assessments report the Kirov has been destroyed. Sonar monitoring confirms that the Typhoon submarine has been sunk. So we can see our triggers are working properly there, and all of our goals have been completed. So we can end now.
The base,
Just for, we do know there's an airbase there that I put that I forgot about. But we could potentially make a goal to rescue the any pilots. We're not going to do that. But yeah, it's kind of the basics of what I do. So hopefully this scenario was helpful, and I think we'll refine on this a little bit, because there's definitely, now that I've run through it, there's elements that I see I've missed, and That's why it's always good to test your scenarios before releasing them. But we will end here. Excuse me. And we can see our forces are all unharmed. Yep, that airport is unharmed, and that's why our score is so low, because I think it basically sums up the amount of points. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it sums up like the amount of points you would get from destroying every enemy platform, plus doing every goal, and then it looks at how many points you have, and then that's your score. So, and that airfield is worth 2,000 points. But here we have our success messages for killing the Typhoon, killing the Kirov, getting to the launch point, and we can see it's just on the shore there. I don't think they really launched anything, and our replay, of course, is going to be fairly short, as all we did was basically run over, destroy the Kirov, and then hunt the Typhoon. So, overwhelming force, and you can see, yeah, you saw he had a large vector. Yeah, you can see here he's going at his normal speed, but now he knows once these guys start their runs and start dropping sonobuoys, he knows he's being hunted. So you can see his velocity vector goes down as he's trying to stay quiet. But unfortunately, in those tidal waters, it doesn't matter. So you can see his velocity vector went up as he tried to evade the torpedo, but he has no room to evade. He dropped a few decoys, and we still got him. And of course, the airport here is still blissfully unaware somehow. So I hope that answers some of the questions that people had about some of my strategies or tactics in the game. And I think that will conclude us for today. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.